Totally stolen from HTV, but whatever. Hi guys, welcome back to Impractical Gaming. I just watched the EA press conference. Well, not just, it was a few hours ago, but I had some stuff to do, so I have watched the EA press conference for E3 2018, and let's just say it was interesting. It wasn't bad or anything, but it wasn't like anything that made me go, wow, this is good, and like made me think that EA had like a lot to show this year. But I found some interesting stuff there, which I didn't think I was going to at the beginning, but you know, who knows? This is E3, you can get all kinds of games. They started off with a bit of Star Wars. They were talking about Battlefront 2, and they kind of like glossed over about how it wasn't really the greatest start and how they're trying to improve it and stuff like that. Which is admirable, that at least they learned from their mistakes for once. So they kind of introduced Obi-Wan Kenobi as a character, and I think they introduced General Grievous as a character as well, which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't play the game, so I don't really care that much. If you do play the game, I'd probably imagine I'd want to play as Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I think that'd be pretty cool. And it also kind of give an inkling into the new Star Wars game, which is called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And it wasn't really an announcement, it was kind of like they just got the dev and just like basically said, is it happening? And they were like, yeah. I was like, okay. It just seemed a little bit blasé, like they kind of glossed over it. It's like, oh, we're bringing it up. I'm guessing they don't really have anything to show us right now. So probably don't expect it until I think he said 2019, like late 2019 in the holiday season. So you probably won't see any gameplay or anything like that for quite a while, or even a trailer. But you know, it still sounds pretty cool. Next we moved on to Unravel 2, and I haven't really played Unravel 1, but it looked pretty cool. It's kind of a co-op game now, because you play as two little Fred thingies instead of one, and you can do it by yourself, you can play it with your friend, and it's a really interesting puzzle mechanic. The gameplay that they showed us looked really cool, like really cool. So I thought like, yeah, you know what, I could be interested in this kind of thing. So I definitely would consider probably going for that game. Trying to remember. Ah, yes, FIFA, as usual. I mean, it's nothing that anyone's really excited for, or they do FIFA every year and it's the same thing every time. So I don't know, I mean, they have to do it because it's EA Sports and you kind of have to show off, oh, look, we've added this new tech thing, which really doesn't make that much difference to FIFA and no one really cares. But you know what? It's fair play to them. People buy it every year, so it's not that big of a deal as usual, but I'm probably still going to buy it again. Then they kind of brought out Madden, and it was really weird way they kind of introduced Madden. They got the Madden NFL champion from this year, I think, and they got a American sports ball player. I don't know. I don't follow American football like at all. So like they kind of introduced that as well, which is, I guess, it's fine. It's not that interesting. It's just a thing that happened. I mean, a lot of this is kind of like taking a backpedal to the kind of the two games people were kind of waiting for, which is Battlefield 5 and Anthem. We'll probably start with Battlefield 5. It looked pretty cool. Like I've seen a couple gameplay videos after the fact of the press conference, but it looks like really insane and it looks a lot of fun. They introduced also a Battle Royale mode into the game, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because Battle Royale's kind of I'm not sure it's not being saturated, that's probably not the right word, but I'm not quite sure how other games can like do it differently to like PUBG and Fortnite. I mean, there's obviously their own ways to like do Battle Royale, because I think seriously everyone's doing Battle Royale now. It feels like if you're gonna do Battle Royale now, you kind of have to add something extra, add something new that's very unique to the game that you're playing, for everyone to like be interested in and be like, oh wow, let me play this Battle Royale game instead of this one. But to be fair, even without that, people will still buy Battlefield 5 anyway. It's not really my thing because I don't like to think that much during gaming. I'm not very good at like tactics and stuff like that. Speaking of tactics, they also introduced Command and Conquer Rivals, which is a mobile game which looks really cool. I really want to buy it. It's kind of like what you do is like there's two bases and you have to protect those bases, and there's two like capture points basically that you have to take control of. If you take the two capture points, then there's a missile in the middle, and if you capture it for long enough, you'll be able to fire that missile at the enemy base, and you have to do that twice in order to win the game. And you play live against someone else, which looks really cool. It's really all about like resource management, about like knowing when to use like your like tanks, your enemies, like to use your flanks and stuff like that. It looks a lot of fun. It's not out yet. I don't know exactly when it's out actually. I think I may have forgotten that, but it looks like a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend getting that as well. And obviously the big news is Anthem. Anthem looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. We saw it last year, E3, and we didn't really know what it was. It kind of just showed like half a scene of like what we're supposed to do, what the game's about. but now we know full on pretty much what it is about. And we also have seen some pretty cool gameplay about it, and I've really enjoyed watching that because it made me think, oh god, I really want to play this. People say it's like another Halo or Destiny 2, but it looks a lot different. It looks like there's a lot more to think about in this than there is in Destiny 2. I'm not saying Destiny 2 is bad, I'm just saying there's probably a few more options that you can go about. Instead of like just flying through the air, you can also swim under the water. You also have to like manage your resources quite a bit, like because you can't fly all the time. You can go under the water and all that kind of stuff. And you have to fight these big monsters at the end of the mission, which they didn't show us at the in the trailer, the gameplay trailer they were showing us, but it looked quite terrifying. And I've heard from after the fact on like IGN on their live show that it looks pretty damn difficult. So I'm looking forward to that. I also like the fact that you have like 4 classes that you can go as. There's like the big tank kind of class. There's like the like fast kind of like flying class where you can just move around a lot more movement. But it's probably what I would go for because I don't really like being tanks. So yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I wouldn't say I recommend it because I haven't played it yet. But it does look interesting. I'm seriously considering buying it. And that's pretty much it from the EA press conference. There was not a lot of games they were showing us, but it was kind of more sequels and not a lot of new IPs. That's a lie. They did introduce a new IP called Sea of Solid 2 by a new indie developer. It's kind of the same as what they did with Unravel. They keep getting these like indie developers and bring them into EA and like help them work on their idea, on their game, and like build on it. And it looks really, really cool. She said it was about loneliness, and that she wrote it during a time when she was very, very down, very lonely in her life, and it's trying to portray that through her game, through her art, actually, in her words. And I thought that's really, really cool. So I can already tell there's a lot of love in this game, and a lot of heart has been put into this, and it's probably going to reflect in our work because it looks pretty damn good. It looks quite creepy as well because it's not actually humans. You're kind of like these cat furry things or something like this monster. Look like monsters basically. They're just monsters, which is really weird, but it's a concept, and I have to play it first to actually kind of fully understand. But it does look awesome, and I'm a huge, huge advocate for indie games, so I might as well just give it a go. And that's kind of it for the EA press conference. They didn't really have anything that new to show us. They kind of just focused on sequels and only one new IP and kind of building on what they already had, which is fine, I guess. But I kind of wanted something a bit more. I wanted them to like wow me like they did last year with Anthem. I wanted them to give me something that was just like wow. But I didn't really get that. Maybe with Star Wars Jedi The Last Order, but that was kind of there's an announcement, but they just said it's a game that's happening, but they didn't really show us anything. So that's slightly disappointing, but it's interesting nonetheless, and I'm quite excited about what's going to come of that. And that's it for my reaction to the EA press conference. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. It was just a bit par. It was about 6 out of 10. I probably would be a lot more like excited for it because I don't really play any of these games. I only really came to the EA press conference for Anthem. Though I did quite enjoy Command & Conquer Rivals if I'm being perfectly honest with myself. So that's not entirely true, what I said before. But it was still a decent way to start E3. But you know what? Bring on the rest of the press conferences because I'm really, really excited for what is on offer on E3 this year. If you like this video, then leave a like, subscribe, comment, share, and also hit that bell icon so you can keep up to date with all of my latest videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.